If a person from the Middle Ages time traveled to today, what's the first thing you'd say to them? Depends if it were a peasant or nobility. Peasants would likely need to learn reading and writing, and were not as clean as nobles. They can be taught, but you have to start at grade school level things. Nobles were able to read and write, and had less hard labor, so were likely cleaner. They would need to be educated in modern grammar and spelling, but could be given books to read to understand what happened historically. In general, I would still have to explain many things. Indoor plumbing, electricity, electric stoves, microwaves, automobiles, computers, phones, videos, recorded sound. While they wouldn't understand what I'm saying much, so it would be difficult for them. Assuming they're from my own country, they'd be speaking Old English, so I would try looking into Old English to accommodate them. But I'd try and make them feel safe with body language and facial expressions in the meanwhile, showing them things slowly, making sure they're not exposed to too much new and loud stimulus, and providing them food and water that they will be familiar with. This is also assuming they are not hostile, of course. It's like this, but looking at the wiki, you can see how similar the cognates are, and the estimated reconstructions too. Like it's barely changed, even if it has word I can think of from the Pi family, which I think half of us now speak a Pi language, so maybe they're also from one such culture too. We start by making poop and fart jokes, I guess, which probably checks out. I think documented fart jokes go way back anyway. I think a better question is, how would you onboard someone from the Middle Ages into present day safely? Immediate immersion would probably result in actual shock for 90% of people. All of the context a person from the Middle Ages needs to survive productively are completely gone. Language, food, community, etc. would be unrecognizable. You'd almost certainly want to bring someone back in the vicinity of a recognizable medieval structure from their era, and start from there, I think. Are they a random Middle Ages person? Odds are they speak Chinese or Arabic or Greek, and they won't understand a word I say. And frankly, even if they are English, they might struggle to understand what I say given how much accents and pronunciation have shifted over the centuries. If their time machine has a magic translator, I'll probably ask them if they were Doctor Who. My language would be completely incomprehensible for a medieval dude. But I would show him my phone and go to Google Maps and try to show that the world is round and we have mapped it perfectly. Maybe also show some places on Google Street View. And he would kill me for being a wizard. Hey buddy, I do not know if you understand me, but we have got to get you to a hospital. The microbes in the air have advanced a few 100,000 generations from back in your day, and you will die soon, unless you can get a whole lot of antibodies into you stat. Let's go to McDonald's. That would be so interesting to see that person get food instantly. There is so much technology and advancement in one place, plus consumerism and materialism, that I'd just love to sit back and watch this person go through the experience. Are you okay? I'm going to call a paramedic. If someone from the Middle Ages arrived at our present time, the differences are so severe that the world would be almost unrecognizable to him/her. They would likely faint or think they are going crazy. X of where he's at, and then I would put a big red X on another place I will name nameless on where to tell his people to never ever go, or pick anyone up from, or let come to where you are. -1 for them to understand what you're saying because of the Great Vowel Shift, which was a series of changes in the pronunciation of the English language that took place primarily between 1400 and 1700. This just made me realize how common of an idea it is that the end of the world is in the distant future, irrelevant to the present. That's probably how a time traveler from the Middle Ages would see our present day. They would be coming with diseases that no longer exists, or I would tell them to shower, and I'll force them to quarantine. Then I'll ask them if they would prefer to live in our culture or go back to their shitty past. The time travel historical fiction romance series. A character who's gone back 200 years in time says vroom vroom about a kid's toe, and an 18th C character is like, "What is that nose you made?" Not a whole lot, as there's literally no way they'd understand what I'm saying. Even if it was English, the language has chanced enough over that amount of time to make it impossible to accurately understand. Welcome to hell. Now get in this shiny white room with magic water and soaps to clean while I get hazmat. God, I hope you understand me. Don't touch me. Dude, we could both kill each other with a sneeze. This whole comment thread is boring AF. We know all the practical things. But this isn't a real scenario. Have some damn imagination. I'd say try this. And give him any ice cream in the freezer. I'd probably say hail and then struggle with what else to say because they wouldn't understand English as we speak it now. Example of someone speaking in 1400. Doth thou have a mug of ale for me and me mate? He has been pitched in battle for a fortnight, and has a king's thirst for the frosty brew that doth might brow for doth. This entire comment section knows as much about medieval times as a 6-year-old after watching Monty Python Nights of the Coconut and taking it as a documentary. They probably think washing machines were sorcery. In taking them to the laundromat and showing them the biggest sudsy one was super cool to me as a kid. Not me. But if they popped up in Australia, the first thing said would be either my or a variation of a four-letter word beginning with C. I will show you a device that contains most of the knowledge we have today, and then pull out my phone and show them some stuff they might recognize. Close your eyes and listen to me carefully. Then I'll start to explain everything to him, just to make sure he doesn't get overwhelmed in a minute. Well, I probably wouldn't get to say much, given that they're likely carrying smallpox and pretty much nobody alive has any resistance to it anymore. Bruh. That's dope, you can sorta understand me, that's what's up. Let me fill you on the last couple 100 years. Shit's gonna blow your mind. People here thinking all Middle Ages folks were dirty and backward when the Muslims and Chinese were thriving cultures during that time. Won't get a chance to say shit. How advanced viruses and bacteria will annihilate their outdated immune systems, and they'd be dead in seconds. I'd tell them evolution and show them the internet. Also, I'd give them a can of Coke and watch them mentally freak out trying to drink it. There's a French comedy with this exact plot, and from what I know it's quite popular. I'm sad to see nobody made a reference to that. I'd show them a howitzer and say a dozen of these would reduce your kingdom to rubble. Afterwards I'd introduce them to ice cream. I'd piss them off by not using the right grammar by saying something like hieth thereth ieth ameth hereth foreth yoreth taxiseth. Good luck and probably goodbye, meaning he wouldn't have any antibodies for most diseases and probably wouldn't last a week. Let me take you to the local healer. They'll use their potions to make you not die from like a million different diseases. Sizz up B, yo. That drip is fire, for if you got the wrist to match you gon' be drowning in it, no cap. And then I'd kill myself. Or you're too late, buddy. You missed the second coming. And, you aren't gonna believe this, we crucified him again. Be prepared to witness unbelievable things. Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Well, mostly said at the rather than to them ... What drugs am I on? Then what drugs do I need to take? This is soap and this is shampoo. Was yourself, and then we'll talk. Something like THST but in fluent Latin OFC. Doesn't matter. They wouldn't understand me. So I'd just scream and make devil noises to fuck them right up. We have magic machines at home that shows moving images, but we also have access to unlimited medieval porn. Nothing, because we wouldn't understand each other. Middle English and modern English are very different. Go to a doctor right now and get vaccinated and do take whatever else is necessary. Otherwise you'll die. We aren't allowed to shit in the street anymore. You have a room in your house specifically for shitting. I tried to convince them they actually traveled further back in time. Doubt I could keep a straight face. Assuming they could understand me. Have a shower and we need to see a doctor about your vaccinations. I would probably say a few prayers with them in Latin to at least try to put them somewhat at ease. I wouldn't say a thing, I would just demonstrate how a shotgun works by blowing around into my brain. God is dead. We know for more than a century now. even if people making money on it says otherwise. Babies are murdered but sex is praised. Don't criticize on Reddit or you will get downvoted. Get your vaccines. Make people are now immune to disease that you were prone to at your time. Please bait. Here is how soap and the show works. I'm the future, it keeps you from disease. Be careful cause they'll run under a car while in attempt to figure out where they landed. Tell them God isn't real. Give them a cold brew coffee and just show them shit around my house. Shoulda got vaccinated before you came. Germ theory pretty much makes time travel impossible. Stay the fuck away from me. Because they're carrying smallpox. I'm not fucking with that. World in transition of interferon. If they are overwhelmed, please skin to neat no. You will soon die because you have no immunity to last 500 years microbes and bacteria. It's okay, it's all okay, come sit down and have a nice familiar cup of tea. The Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race. Blow some vape smoke in their face, these nuts have got 'em, and then I just walk away. He definitely going to need to see a doctor, his body ain't ready for knee diseases yet. The chances someone from before the early modern age could survive is probably slim. Welcome to the future, prepare to be mind blown by smartphones and indoor plumbing. Your breath smells. Here, we call this toilet paper. This is condom. I'm God. Middle Age Europe. Middle Age China. It depends where in the world they were from. Is a kid in King Arthur's court an accurate depiction of the era you lived in?